Right, take two. um, first time I've been silenced with no sound. Maybe I'm hitting some nerves with a few people. Hopefully get some audience back. You'll get the notifications. That'll probably be the next tactic to not let the notifications come through. I should just sit for a minute and just see. Hello. This is the thing. Nothing is going to disturb the inner peace. So I'm not going to get annoyed with the cutting of the sound. We should try again. So may even flow better than my first attempt. So anyway, going back to before we talk about Prometheus, so you have the 12 zodiac signs within each of you, regardless of what sign you're actually born under. So Aries is the crown, and then that's obviously the spring equinox. Summer solstice is on the cusp of Cancer into Leo. That's the heart. Now moving down, Virgo, the house of bread, the stomach, and Leo, the other equinox. And then Sagittarius, which is the hippo, the hips, Capricorn, the kneecaps, it's the thigh bones. So hence the skull and bones, you have the thigh bones crossed because we have been crossed. So as you can see, everything then runs and flows in one direction. As it is at the moment, you're starting on your knees. This is humanity overall. This is not singular. And this is the trick they played with everything. This is all will make sense when I come to what Prometheus is really all about. These are not literal. Well, they may well have been originally, who knows? Thank you, Rudy. Excellent. Yeah, so I've just talked about the signs, how they run in the body, if the year starts at the right time, which is in the spring. Because let's face it, we're in the age of not in Pisces anymore. This nonsense with Christmas and that, I don't partake in any of it. Even the mention of it, a mass, like a black mass. No, thank you. I know exactly what the fakery of all that is all about, and I totally agree with Jordan Maxwell, who's been studying theology and talking about theology since 1959. So I think he knows what he's talking about. He has probably the world's widest knowledge of theology. And he says religions are the scourge and the biggest problem that humanity faces. And he's right, because it is all fear-based. If you don't support this, you're going to hell and will burn for eternity. Well, that's another trick that's been played. So likewise, a day replicates the year, and it also represents the zodiac, split into 2-hour segments starting at 6 in the morning with Aries, which is a rise, because the sun rises at that time of the day, most of the time, obviously with a bit of variation between summer and winter. This is all interconnected. So Prometheus, this is this Greek myth of this Titan that disobeyed Zeus. Quite an interesting. This is from Wikipedia. I just double checked on this to make sure I got the right character name and the right story. Gives mankind fire, and as a punishment is tied to a rock. I think that's a very interesting reference. And then every day an eagle will come down and peck out his liver. And at night it grows back during the hours of darkness, and then it happens all over again. Now that in some ways is a hell. But let's look at what Prometheus is. Could it be the promise to us? Pro is a prefix to so many words, indicating the start, proceed, procure, and so on. Well, you've got pro, me. And as I've said before, the me is the name of the soul, the self, which every one of us has. We all describe ourselves as me when we're talking about ourselves. Like, who does that belong to? That's mine. That belongs to me. Then after me, you've got Thi. Well, Thi is a god, as in source. So it's pro, me, Thi, us. So it's the God in all of us. That is what Prometheus is. Now, what is the fire? Is that not the light inside all of us? Now, why would something stop? Well, Zeus is a big clue. If you put a J and an E in front of that, the Jesuit, the J-E suit. As I've explained before, the J is like a hook because every letter is a hieroglyph. The J is a hook. The E always represents energy. So it's hook your energy. The two S's are your caduceus, and you are in the middle of the two caduceuses. That is what that means. The trick has always been to make you look for a singular being and look outside yourself. Everything, the whole universe is within. So all of you have, hi Sherry, all of us have the entire universe inside of us. And that includes all these mythological characters. You all have a son. You're all a son of source anyway. You all have a good side and a bad side. Hi, Nick. Also, you all have a Medusa. Now, if you think about the story with Medusa, it's seen in reflection. But Medusa is petrified, turned to rock, because when you're scared, you're petrified, and you also turn to rock. The word is interchangeable. Because Medusa cannot look at herself. That is each and every one of us. If we cannot face ourselves and be honest with ourselves, then what good are we to anybody else? Because what are we projecting out if we are not the best version of ourselves that we can be? And the only way to do that is to find all these, the good, the bad. See, Prometheus, that is all of us. Because think of it, it's not just the kidney, it can be any organ. It can be the mind. Because that eagle, look what the eagle is associated with: the Roman Empire, the whole lie, the Holy Rome of the United States government. Nothing to do with the people of the United States of America. Same as every other government. They are a localized control system of a one world control system over all of us, and they play us. So the organ of Prometheus, this kidney, it is taken by a bit at a time. It's being fed. You're feeding this eagle, and it can be through vaccines and this. I mean, you've got a lovely situation in the United States. You can have a vaccination, and in exchange, you'll get a free donut. Well, what is the donut in all that, I ask? Because that is ridiculous. Everybody knows that these things cost money. There's motive to all of this. Likewise, my mother was telling me about a court case. I think it was an environmental group, and the judge ruled in favour, and they all walked free. I think it was to do with road blockades. And I said, hang on a minute. I said, what about the third player in all of this? He said, what do you mean? I